The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of salt. So get ready, nerds, because we're talking the new Netflix movie, Day Shift. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast. We're talking Day Shift. Jamie Foxx goes on a murderous rampage against vampires, and it's a lot of fun. I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic panel of nerds. Matt Vader is slightly inebriated. What's up?
Slightly?
Yep. Jude is also here.
Hello.
Hello. And last but not least, Matt Kiddish.
I don't know about you guys, but any movie where Snoop Dogg plays a black cowboy, I'm in.
I'm in
100%.
He sold it too. He did such a good job. All right, guys. So heavy spoiler alert. This is a fairly new movie. So if you haven't seen it yet, I do actually suggest go check it out, watch it for yourself before, and then you come back and listen to our amazing review of it because we're going to have a lot of fun talking about it. So if you have seen it, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you guys want to support us, you can go to saltynerd.com/DC and download a game called Dragon Champions. It's a really fun, easy to play mobile game where you guys can collect heroes, upgrade them, and go on the warpath with people like us. We actually do have a guild. If you reach level 20 after typing in the promo code SALTY, it gives you a little bit of a leg up, gets you on their way. You can join our guild, which is ran by one of our patrons, JT. And we have a lot of fun. We have an actual message board in our Discord app that you guys can reach out to us and suggest things that we want to do, or if you want to start a guild, not a guild, but if you want to go on a raid with us, you can. And you also get some pointers from Masterclass
Dragon Champion.
Dragon Champion. I'm so drunk right now. I'm sorry. Masterclass Dragon Champion, Matthew Kadish.
That's a masterclass. Yes, tell us more about your guild.
You must kill mules and stuff.
Type in the word salty in the
Promo code area. I said that already, didn't I?
in the gear thing.
I hope so.
10% off.
No, that's the store, babe.
I love it. All right, let's do this. Day Shift.
Professional.
Shoot, take it away.
2022 Day Shift. Rated R with a runtime of 1 hour, 53 minutes. I have no budgetary information on this, but the synopsis goes as this. Blade, John Wick, and Buffy smashed and had a movie baby. Discuss.
Yes.
Right on.
That's
All right.
perfect.
I haven't seen many reviews on this movie, so I'm not tainted by any other movie reviews or anything like that. I
Tell
sat
us more
down.
about your taint.
Wow.
It's totally clean because I use manscaped.com.
Not as a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Yes. Or probably ever.
Yes.
One of the funny parts about this movie is that...
I'm not done talking about manscaping.
Well, neither am I. So, like, one of the funny parts about this movie is that when you kill a vampire, they, like, release a gas on you that other vampires can track. Mm-hmm. And so Jamie Foxx comes up with this, like, special... like lye concoction that he like showers with to get rid of this this tracking gas, and he gives it to James Franco at a certain, or not James Franco, David Franco at a certain point, and he's like, "Don't get it on your butthole."
Oh yeah, that's right. Then the next day he comes out, and he's like, "Man, I got some of that shit on my butthole. It's way worse than you said it was."
Oh, good. Back to buttholes.
Back to buttholes.
Anyway, I mean, Day Shift is kind of like a clean butthole.
It is kind of like
the clean butthole
All right,
movie.
So listen, I'm just gonna spell it out. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on this. This movie's fucking fun as hell.
It really is.
Completely, like, if you're worried about wokeness, if you hate woke movies, there's nothing like that in there.
There's none.
This is balls to the wall, badass action scenes, killer vampires, lots of blood, gunplay,
Listen.
all kinds of fun shit, and it's just a good time.
The synopsis was spot on.
Yeah.
This is Blade, fucked Buffy, and threw in some John Wick.
Yeah.
It's
I think at one
incredible.
point the narration of the movie even is like John Wick.
Yeah. Like
it's written by the guy who, so this movie...
Or was that just in the trailer?
No, this movie had 2 rewrites done by the guy who wrote John Wick 3 and 4.
Okay.
And this movie was directed by a guy named J.J. Perry, who was a second unit action director on like a dozen movies, and this is his first feature film. So it's got the John Wick kind of DNA to it, where they're building this vampire mythology, kind of like how like the assassin mythology built in John Wick. And then you have these like really well done action scenes by a action movie second unit director.
And I feel like they stole the whole like, we'll just use really good sunscreen from that Bruce Campbell vampire movie that we saw.
Also Blade.
Yeah, Blade has sunscreen in it too. So it's they have a lot of fun with vampire lore, which I liked, especially, and they use it in creative ways. Like there was a scene where Jamie Foxx was fighting this vampire, and the camera was looking at a mirror at a reflection of them fighting. Yeah. And the vampire wasn't there, so it's just clothes. It's just the clothes, and Jamie Foxx was just fighting like a pair of pants.
Yeah, it was great.
And it was great, dude. It's fun.
Yeah, we're spoiler in this, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, I went into this movie and I'm like, okay, you know, and I didn't even know we were going to talk about it because I just started watching.
Yeah, we just decided yesterday that we were going to talk about this.
Hey, didn't we all watch this weird Jamie Foxx Netflix movie? And we're like, yeah. And
let's do a review.
Let's talk about it. It's like, okay, because, you know, sometimes I need to watch things that we don't talk about on here.
Yeah. I feel
just for my sanity.
Yeah. Yep.
But it seems like
we call it watching stuff for enjoyment.
But then 90% of the time I do that, we end up talking about it on here.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
This was on my radar.
Or on Saturday or something, you know. But, you know, Jamie Foxx, number one, is an incredible actor.
So charismatic.
This is like, I mean, Jamie Foxx is legitimately one of the most talented dudes in the business. He can do anything.
Music,
he can sing,
comedy.
act, comedy. He's a comedian. Did he win an Oscar?
Yeah, he's an Oscar winner. But I turned to Jude last night when we were watching this. And I was like, hey, remember when Jamie Foxx was on In
Living Color?
Yeah, I said, hey, remember when you used to only date blondes?
So I said, technically, it's still true.
So when I see somebody of Jamie Foxx's caliber making a goofy fucking Netflix vampire movie, I'm like, I wonder what's going on with this thing. I'm immediately intrigued and want to watch this thing. And then it has Snoop Dogg in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Jamie Foxx and Snoop is a goddamn national treasure.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Everybody
Who
loves
just
Snoop.
always, I feel like he has it written into his contract. He's like, but like my character smokes weed, right?
Yeah. And, you know, it's like, I'm gonna play myself.
Yeah.
Fo Shizzle. Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's Snoop in anything that he does.
But he's a black cowboy.
But dude,
he's Snoop with a cowboy hat on.
I feel like this is not the first time he's played a black cowboy.
But listen,
Am
dude.
I wrong? If you're in the chat right now, if you know what I'm talking about, I feel like I've seen him as a black cowboy before.
But here's the thing: if it was Snoop playing another character, I wouldn't like it. I want Snoop to be Snoop. I don't care what the movie is, and you pair him with Jamie Foxx, and then throw in James Franco. It's a win. It's a win.
Dave Franco.
Not James Franco.
Yeah.
The lesser.
The lesser Franco.
Okay, well, I'm in.
Yeah.
It's funny, man.
So like this movie plays with a lot of those classic tropes where like you have the buddy cop aspect to it, where you've got Jamie Foxx, who's kind of like this rogue character. He's the Rooster Cogburn type dude, the gunslinger, and he gets paired with this by the books for very nerdy dude, and they go on the adventure together, and that's where the comedy kind of ensues with that. I think they nailed that really well. I think they played off each other really well. And the comedy was really funny. Everything was legit funny in this movie. There was no moments where I was like...
Like the best part of this movie was when Jamie Foxx was with Dave Franco. Like that to me, like those parts were when the movie really worked. Everything else I felt was like kind of dragging the movie out unnecessarily. Because like they do this thing where basically there's this thing called the Union, which is like a underground organization of vampire hunters. And they go after vampire teeth because for some reason they're very valuable. But
collector's items,
jewelry. But it's like it has some parallels to the assassin like community in the John Wick movies.
Yeah.
And basically, Jamie Foxx did something where he got kicked out of the Union not too long ago, and he needs some quick cash.
Because he's a wild card.
And the only people who pay top dollar for vampire fangs are the Union. And so he gets his friend Snoop Dogg to kind of vouch for him and get him a second chance with the Union. But the Union boss pairs him with Dave Franco, who's like his Union rep.
He's a desk guy.
Yeah, he's a desk guy, and he's to look for any kind of infraction during like the week-long probation that Jamie Foxx has. And Jamie Foxx is like, I don't care if I get kicked out. I just need to make...
It's a 3-day probation. Snoop Dogg talked him down.
Yeah.
No, it was 1 week.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So anyway, Dave Franco starts riding shotgun with Jamie Foxx as he goes about, killing vampires. And he's supposed to like jot down every infraction this guy does. So like he can't be admitted back into the Union. But throughout this time period, Dave Franco, who's been a desk guy, he keeps getting exposed to vampires and he keeps peeing himself.
Yeah.
He's so not built for this.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a desk guy. Like he knows everything about vampires. Like he studied them in books. But when he goes out in the field, it's a whole different ballgame. He starts freaking out, and he's like a bit of a sniveling idiot.
Yeah.
And he kind of grows from that on. And spoiler
There's
alert.
something so charming about him too. He's not just like the guy that you're rolling your eyes at and is cringy because he's a sniveling idiot.
Dude.
He's charming throughout it, and you're like, oh, you want to like root for him, and you're like, oh shit, okay, he failed again.
Like when he first goes to meet Jamie Foxx in his little like bunker where he's like making his guns and stuff. He brings them. He's like, "Here, I got you breakfast," and he's like, "Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it." Yeah, it's a organic, gluten-free, vegan bran muffin.
You should ask first
And
of all.
And Jamie Foxx is like, "Oh, that's great, thanks," and he just throws it in the trash. And the dude's like, he's like, "That was $6, man."
But like, doesn't he eat like Seth's donut later? And
Yeah,
Seth's like, I'm gonna charge you for that.
Yeah,
I'm writing that down in my journal.
also, Dave Franco shows up in his like avocado colored suit.
I thought it complimented my skin tone.
It's a summer day suit.
It's got great comedy, great timing.
There's so much about this movie that I like. I like the action scenes in this thing are next level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can we talk about the home invasion one with the hive?
Can we talk about how hot Jamie Foxx's wife is?
Oh, she's banging, absolutely hot. But the action scenes and the camp in this movie are next level. The big villain in this thing is a straight up Buffy villain. Straight
Evil real estate developer.
Evil real estate lady.
Yeah.
She's vampire glory.
She's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what I love about this. This movie does not take itself seriously.
But also it does at the same time.
It does at the same time. I was just going to say that.
It knows
It's like,
when
Right.
We
to play that
know
game.
who we are.
It runs-
But here's the world and here's the rules. Just roll with it. And
yeah.
we're like, yeah, fucking yeah, I'm rolling.
It walks a rope. And it never falls off it.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
You know, the best part of this movie is when they team up with the Bazarian brothers.
Yes.
Oh, amazing.
That fucking fight. They go. So they're Jamie Foxx is out on the hunt, and he's trying to get Fangs to make money, basically.
Yeah,
and he knows of this house that vampires stay at. He's like, I'm going to go to this house. And he runs into these competitive, like
Vampire
other
hunters.
vampire
other members
hunters
of the guild. Man.
Yeah, other members of the union.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, hey guys, what's up? He's
They're
like,
famous.
they're
Yeah.
fucking legit. So
Yeah.
these two dudes, and I think one of them is like a
That they're Armenian brothers who
Yeah.
are vampire hunters, but they masquerade as audiovisual repairmen.
yeah.
Yeah.
And-
And I know
and-
none of you guys will get this reference, but maybe the ladies will. So the main guy of the, what is it, Bazarian?
Yeah.
Bazarian Brothers. That guy was the fiance of Kate Hudson in Bride Wars.
Oh, jeez.
And-
Totally different character.
And also, like every time they speak, they always call people bro.
Yeah.
Hey,
Come
bro.
on, bro.
It's a nice shot, bro. So they team up. They're like, hey, why don't we just go in there full force and we'll team up and we'll take this house down.
Yeah,
Empty
and we'll
this
split
nest.
it.
We'll split the money.
Yeah,
And Jamie Foxx is like, all right, fine, sounds good. They go into this fucking house. This is the most epic fucking fight
It
scene.
turns out to be a nest.
Yeah, it's what they call it, a hive or something like
Hive,
that.
hive,
yeah,
yeah.
he's like, it's a freaking hive, and shit starts coming out of the walls.
Yeah.
and like these vampires come out of nowhere. This is
And
the
Dave Franco just fights one the entire time that the other three people in this house are fighting
Dude.
like multitudes of vampires.
this is where the John Wick aspect comes in
yeah.
full force.
Yeah.
Like these guys ransack this entire house, killing vampires left and right,
the
and the
fucking
most
gymnastics in this.
the contortionists.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
So the
They're great.
vampires in this universe.
Okay, so not even just the vampires, but like the vampire killers who are just like, like in the air. I'm
with
like,
his boot knives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
They
dope.
were like slashing throats with your toe.
Dude, the best part about that fight. So like at the beginning, before they break into the house, one of the Bazarian brothers is like chewing on some garlic. And,
Yeah.
and Dave Franco is like, why are you chewing on garlic? He's like, because I like to spit it in their face and burn a hole through their head.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point in the fight, he actually does it.
Yes,
And
it's so
hilarious.
badass. He's got this. He kills one. He got this one dude up against the wall, and he goes, dude, and the dude's face just. He starts screaming. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Garlic is really good for you. I think that everyone should do this.
There's one part in this house scene where one of the Bazarian brothers runs out of ammo, and he tells his other brother, "I need one."
Oh yeah.
And he clips a bullet out of his gun, goes ka-chink, and the bullet goes flying through the air. And he does.
And his brother opens his gun,
opens up his gun, and
catches
catches it. Out of the air.
No, he opens
It's
his gun,
wild.
spins, and then catches it in his gun, chambers it.
Oh,
and
it's so good.
Pow! It's fucking dope.
So
It makes
dope.
no sense. It's completely unrealistic.
Oh, yeah.
This could never happen, but it
Never.
was so sick.
See, I was actually disappointed that like the Bazarian brothers disappeared after that one
I
scene.
know. I want to see him
Because
again.
I thought that they would come back at the end
I
and
want
team
a
up.
sequel just of them.
I want,
Yes.
yeah.
Dude, when they were walking up to the house and like that slow motion, like little montage they had, and they had their vests and like they had wooden
And
spikes.
it's the old dirty.
Yes, they had wooden spikes going through their vest on all sides. And I'm
That
like,
was such a damn it feels good to be a gangster moment.
Yes.
Oh, baby, I
Here's-
like it raw.
Here's the thing, kind of touching on what you just said, Matt. This movie could easily spawn a
franchise.
franchise or a universe. You know, we could get a Bazarian Brothers Netflix show. We could get more movies starring Jamie Foxx. We could get stories of the Union.
Yeah, I want Dave Franco and that girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was super hot too.
This movie,
Let's talk about the girl.
it laid a massive foundation for what could be a really fun thing for Netflix to play with.
You could have Snoop Dogg as the Nick Fury
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the day
100%.
shift universe.
All right, so we need
100%.
to set the stage as far as villains. So the main villain is she's a woman. I forget her name. I think it's Heather or something.
It's always Heather.
Yeah, fucking the Heather.
The Heathers.
Let's just call her Karen.
No, we will not.
Oh, Jude's against that.
Karen is just a way for the masses to be able to call women bitches.
That's right.
Anyway, so this female vampire, she's like kind of taking over, and it starts from the beginning. She's like reprimanding this old school vampire who lives by the old rules, and you know, you got to get with today. And she's turning people and bringing them onto her side, but she's turning people who fucking hate her. And one of them is Jamie Foxx's neighbor. I forget her name too. Because I'm a sexist. I can't remember any of the women's names. But she's Jamie Foxx's neighbor, and I think she's placed there to like keep tabs on Jamie Foxx. But they end up teaming up together and becoming this vampire hunting, like human and vampires unite to fight the evil forces. And it's so much fun. And then we have to spoil Dave Franco becomes a vampire.
Yes, he does.
But
in the
he's
most
a good vampire.
in the most ridiculous way.
Oh, that was so good.
The poor guy keeps pissing his pants until he becomes a vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and vampires don't pee or poop. And
So that's the only reson why he can't be his
But he's so proud of himself. He's like, I didn't piss my pants this time.
And they're like, Jamie Foxx is like, vampires don't pee. Or
and he's like, can't you just let me have this one?
just let me have a win.
win.
Just let me have a win.
The scene where he wakes up as a vampire and Jamie Foxx is like, oh shit, now I gotta kill you.
Okay.
Epic.
I really appreciated this too because
Yeah.
up until this point, you don't see what happens in the turning. You just assume, oh, they're all evil. But when he wakes up as a vampire, he's still the same guy he was.
Yeah.
So you're still kind of learning like the rules of the vampire universe, which is different in every single property.
But it's kind of funny because he'll constantly be like,
Yeah. He's just like
just baring his fangs. Yeah.
I can feel my blood boil.
He's
It
like-
feels so good.
He's like, I just drank a bunch of energy drinks.
He's like, I feel really weird, but also so fucking great.
And what got me is like after they do this whole little bit and Jamie Foxx is like, oh man, what the fuck, you're a vampire now? He cuts his fucking head off.
does.
I was like,
With a machete.
I did not see that coming. Like it was brutal.
Oh,
and I was
no,
like,
I knew that was coming.
no, I thought they were gonna like play with the idea that they were gonna be friends or
I
whatever.
was so disappointed because I was like, oh, is this the end
The
of
end
Dave
of Jamie-
Franco
yeah.
in this? But it turns out
his head back on.
he's the kind of vampire who can regenerate.
Yeah.
Well, he's
what's
an
funny
uber
is,
vampire.
yeah, so like earlier in the movie, they established that if you're turned by an uber vampire, and you have the power of regeneration, there are some vampires that can actually reattach their severed heads. And it turns out James Franco is one of those vampires. And it was pretty funny.
I loved it. It was a
Good setup and
yeah,
payoff.
great
So I have
gimmick.
a question about that. So the main villain vampire lady is not an uber vampire.
No, she is.
She is.
Yeah.
Then how come the beheading worked on her at the end?
Because he took the
Because
head
he
away
took
from
the
the
head away
body.
from the body.
Oh, so it's only if you reattach them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I assumed that meant like the head just kind of lives on, and the body just kind of
or-
stumbles around.
Well, for an uber vampire, you have to stake them in the heart with a wooden stake, and then behead them to prevent the
because
regeneration.
vampires are allergic to wood.
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
Yeah. So basically, like, if they're staked through the heart, they can't regenerate, and that's when you cut the head off.
Ah.
Yeah, there are actually a lot of very well-established rules.
Did he stake her too?
For the vampire? Yeah.
He
Shot her with the gun.
Okay.
Yeah. So like there are a lot of very well-established vampire rules in this movie,
Yeah.
which I could really appreciate because it felt like they were building a new mythology with which to do this. And
And they are.
Mm-hmm.
And the Union also has like a night shift, which is like where you make the real money and you
Yeah.
go out and like you hunt vampires at night. But the day shift guys are kind of like the
Cleanup crew.
cleanup
The
crew.
fuck up crew.
Yeah, the fuck up crew.
Yeah.
Dude, this movie was so much fun. Way more fun than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Like you hear Netflix original nowadays. You're
Oh,
like,
I go,
Jesus, here we
Netflix
go.
original. And that's what I appreciated about this movie is that it's a brand new entry into the vampire genre, but the rules are a little bit different. You know, it's all new characters, and it's a fun movie. You know, is it a great movie? I don't know. It's probably.
Did you guys pick up all the Lost Boys references?
I'd have to watch it again, but you know, I had a good time with this.
I had a great time.
And that's all I want. When I hear the word vampires and Jamie Foxx, I'm like, okay, this will be entertaining, and that's what it is. And it's like it kind of reminded me of the first time I watched a John Wick movie.
Yeah.
Going into this thing, having no idea what I was walking
The
into.
adrenaline of this
Yeah.
movie.
You know,
It opens up with
it just
amazing fight scene.
sucks you in, and I'm like, okay, I could watch this for a few more hours. I
Yeah.
think in another couple years when number 2 comes out.
You know what's funny about
know?
the beginning of this movie is it starts off and you think that like they set it up so that it looks like Jamie Foxx is like a home invader who's going in to like rob this old lady's
Right.
house. And then it turns out, oh, it's a vampire movie.
But like if you read the synopsis of this movie, you know what's going on.
I wanted to ask you guys, what did you think of the soundtrack? Because I thought that the song choice for this movie was kind of odd, personally.
Did you?
I've never heard most of the songs that they used, but I had fun with it.
It's like
didn't take me
it's
out.
90s gangster rap.
Yeah,
the entire
I'm
time.
totally okay with
I'm
it.
good with it.
Given the setting, given
Given the
who's-
people who
who's
are in the movie, yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's
Snoop's freaking soundtrack that he has every time he shows
West
up.
Side, baby.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
99, baby.
He takes down a whole bunch of them and he's like, fucking West Side. I loved
And
it.
his gun's named Big Bertha.
Yes.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the Lost Boys references, Kadish, because somebody in our live chat right now was talking about the references to Bordello of Blood with the sunscreen and everything. And Corey Feldman was in both of those movies.
Yeah, and the very final line in this movie from Snoop Dogg is a direct callback to The Lost Boys, the end of The Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Where the
All the damn vampires,
Yeah.
which honestly, it kind of fell flat for me. That line, it's only good in the Lost Boys.
I mean, this could be a Lost Boys universe. Sure, why not, man?
Same rules, yeah. I'm down with the same
Fuck
rules.
Anybody have any other scenes that they wanted to talk about? Kate, do you have anything else?
Not really. It's just overall like this is a very uneven movie, and I feel like the end goes on a little bit too long. But it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's an enjoyable film, which is surprising for Netflix because like there was no like wokeism, there was no like messaging. It was just like straight up like let's kill vampires. Fuck yeah.
It's a very simple formula. Like Jamie Foxx's motivation through the whole thing, which we haven't really talked about his family, is that he's separated from his wife, and his wife is like, "Hey, I have this big house. We're not together anymore. I think I'm just going to go move near my parents in Florida and let them help me because you're not very active in our family right now." So he's on a mission to like make things right with his wife, get his family back. And she's like, "Listen, our daughter's tuition is $5,000 plus she needs braces. Like if you can't fucking contribute and be a part of this family, like we're fucking out."
Yeah, so he's got to get 10 grand in 5 days.
So that's why he goes back into the union, because that's the only way that he can make that kind of money that fast. Because she's like, "You have a week."
Solid motivation.
Yeah.
And it put a
It's a
time
ticking clock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it put a ticking clock on the story as well. So I think
Yeah.
my final thoughts on this was it was a damn good time. And I would highly suggest if you're into these types of movies, if you love vampires or John Wick or Buffy, whatever,
Yeah.
it's just a fun, easygoing.
Also, there's a kid in this that didn't annoy you, and that is a stamp of fucking
well,
approval.
she
was fun.
She didn't do anything. She just had like commentary, like
She
funny,
was a
witty
kid.
commentary. She was a kid,
Yeah,
which
but
is totally
she was
fine.
very believable,
Yeah.
and like all of the scenes with her was just like,
Dude,
it was so much fun.
the bit where he's like, "Here, put your headphones on, honey, and play your game." Daddy's gonna drive aggressively.
Yeah, and like while he's still in the middle of this car chase, she's like,
with her tablet.
she like takes her headphones off. She's like, I won my race. What the fuck is going on?
Yes, I loved it. That was
Did
great.
you guys notice that car chase, the end of it was in the same kind of like aqueduct area as Terminator 2?
Yeah,
The
for
Terminator
sure.
2 one.
Yep.
That car chase was probably my least
It
favorite
went.
part of the movie.
It took it a bit far.
It was a little far-fetched.
Yeah.
Especially with the motorcycles running into things that were clearly there for them to run into.
I feel like that was
You
the
know,
same
but-
aqueduct from Greece.
but-
But
yeah,
I didn't
but-
look it up.
But it was a very well put together car chase.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is what happens when you give stunt people a
yeah.
budget.
And it's
Yeah.
right, right?
That's what.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
If you have Netflix, you need to watch this movie.
Yeah, definitely
For
watch
sure.
this movie.
Yeah.
It's super fun.
I'm gonna give it.
Definitely worth watching.
I'm gonna give it solid 3.5.
Yeah.
Easy 3.5. Like I would almost say 4, but I feel like that might be a little bit too much.
That's
So 3.5 for me. Definitely go check it out. What about you?
I was gonna say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
3.5, maybe a 4.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go 3.5 right now. I don't like to grade movies the day after I watch them because I'm still.
You gotta
on
still
the-
let it sit on you for a
I'm
little
still
bit, yeah.
settling on the score. It's like I don't want to like just.
His union boss is fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. Mr. Mullet.
With
such
his,
a
the mullet.
with his hair.
And I like it, all the subtle like gay references where he's with Dave Franco is like, you work out?
Yeah.
He's like, I mean, kind of a little bit.
Yeah, a
He's
little
like,
bit.
Yeah, I can tell.
But it's just
So weird.
It's just a fun movie. There's no woke bullshit in this.
No, but it's full of pop culture
And
references.
it absolutely is.
Yeah.
And it's a movie that I'm surprised Netflix put out. It's like maybe something.
Netflix is up in their game.
I think they are.
Netflix
Yeah.
is up in their game a little bit. And this is a good movie.
Yeah.
Watch it. Shit.
Yeah, this
Ju-
bodes well for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put this in the realm of movies that came out in 2022.
That's a low bar.
I think this is.
Yeah.
I think when we do our end of the year top 5,
Might be up there.
this is kind of there right now.
Yeah, and if I put it in the realm of movies that came out recently, this is 5 stars. It was so much fun. It was such a I don't know. I'm kind of easy breezy when it comes to 5 stars.
Just
Don't-
tossing them out like
don't
dollar
give me
bills.
that look, Alex.
I was like, what the fuck? 5?
I'm not like this fucking steel trap over here, who's like there are only 5.
I have very high standards.
There are only
only-
5 5-star movies, and that's it. And I'm only telling you 3.
Right now, there's 10.
10.
But yeah, this like for people who haven't watched this yet, highly recommend. It's really a fun watch. If you like horror, great. If you like comedy, great. If you like just like a movie that like has like pop culture references from like the last fucking like 2 decades, great. And it's just like it has a great story. And setup and payoff is there. And like it checks all of the boxes and was really, really fun. If this came out in, I don't know, another fucking decade where movies were great, then I don't know that I would say it was a 5-star movie. However, the stuff that we've been getting in the last couple of years has just been so pushing an agenda. And this is just about entertainment, which is something that I value. So for me, high value, high watchability, high rewatchability, 5 stars.
Wow.
I'm going to steal this from the chat. John Wick and Blade Eiffel Towered Buffy. It's exactly what this movie is.
That is exactly what
and
this is.
it's great. I'm
Change my
super
pants.
fun. Yeah, right?
Wesley Snipes and Keanu Reeves.
Some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate up there.
I'm gonna need a minute, you guys.
All right,
I gotta
Kadish,
ice down my parts.
what's your star rating for this?
All right, so I don't think I'm as in love with this movie as you guys are. It was very uneven. There were some like odd tonal choices in this film. It suffered from a weak villain. The villain wasn't very good.
Because she was a woman.
Well, yeah, of course. But it was it was a fun movie though. And, you know, every time Snoop Dogg was on screen, I was kind of taken out of the film because I was like, that's Snoop.
Snoop-a-loop!
And that's what I like about it. That's what I like about it.
Do you think KFC's still open?
But I also found like the song choices very odd for the movie. But the Bazarian Brothers were like the highlight of the film for me. Dave Franco stole the show. Jamie Foxx was great in it. There's a lot to like about this movie, so I'm going to give it a solid 3 pissed pants out of 5.
Nice.
That's 3.5 all around and 3. That's pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah.
5.
5 from
You
Jude.
give it 5?
Yeah.
I did.
Where were
Yeah.
you?
Oh, I don't know.
If this
Blacked
spawns
out
a
again.
Bazarian Brothers prequel, sequel, or adjacent franchise,
I'm in.
holy shit.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
do you remember when they spit their gum into each other's mouths?
That was
Yeah,
hilarious.
funny.
It's like, my brother and I share everything, bro.
Immediately my head was like, women?
And the way it was shot was just so funny because there was no cuts. It was just a wide shot of the 3 actors, and they spit it over James Franco's head or Dave Franco's head into the other guy's mouth. It's just like, what the fuck?
Share everything, bro. Yeah, bro.
That's pretty nasty.
Underwear, food, women,
This shit was so funny.
garlic,
Oh,
ammo. We share everything.
Everything. It was
We
good
share
stuff.
toilet.
I enjoyed. This is the most fun we've had all day talking about movies. This was a
Yeah.
great movie. I had a lot of fun with it.
Hey,
So,
we have to talk about Far Escape.
oh boy. All right, folks, go check it out. Day Shift on Netflix. If you have that service, it's available to you. Hit play. It's great.
Yeah.
V, where can they find you on the socials, bud?
You can find me at Matt Vader 74 on all the socials that people use. So
Right on.
there you go.
Jude?
Hello.
No, that's the wrong.
You can find me at I am Jude Juju on the socials. Goodbye.
And don't forget to check out her audiobook. She's got a couple of new ones out. Super proud of Jude. She's been working her ass off.
Thank you.
She's got some audiobooks out there right now, and they are sexy and steamy. So
Time is spicy.
I gotta go find these.
go to audible.com and look up June Aaron.
I'll send you a free copy.
I need some spank material.
Kadish, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter and Truth Social, and kadishbooks.com takes you to my Amazon page.
All right, folks, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support us, head over to the club area, go to saltynerdclub.com and join up. It's only $5 a month. You guys get 4 exclusive podcasts every single month where we're talking classic sci-fi stuff. We actually did do Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So if you're into that show and you're just like Jude and you're in love with it, head over there.
Tower.
You want Eiffel Tower Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
That's all I've ever wanted.
saltynerdclub.com, sign up. All those episodes are available to our club members at all times, ad-free and uncensored and raw, where we get real dirty. So head over there and help support us. Thank you guys all for watching this video. Like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and stay salty, my friends.